For hanging with me until I get the rust knocked off. It was a long holiday break, and you know, it's my first time doing like a training type thing since since the holiday season. So I appreciate you guys being patient.
And if you get a gift from Jacob in the mail and it's a mason jar, don't open it. Don't open it.
Dude.
That's all. Let's go home. Good
All right,
night.
see you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, buddy, here we go. It's Tuesday. This is the after show. We're back. Kicker Unmasked was a blast. LX amplifiers, we can't talk enough about them. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, I got one sitting here we could take a look at. But without further ado, let's kick off the intro. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Wow, it's kind of like I did that before or something. Definitely remix the intro. That was definitely not the wrong switch engaged. I'm done doing things for you guys. That's just for the Discord, and I always forget to unclick it before I go live. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Even Kicker had some issues with their live stream, but you know, that's the best part about it. It's live, uncut, and that's reality. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to have an awesome night tonight, and appreciate you. Green team, thank you for tuning in. Garrick, hello, LLC fam, the green team, and there's Coronut. DK voice, see that thing that looks like this? Oh, yes, Mr. DK. I was like, Drift King?
Just hit the like.
Just hit the like.
Oh, man. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Coronut, for being here on this amazing live stream journey. And here we are, kicking it off on a Tuesday again. It's something about Tuesdays and live streams and Kicker. It just goes. And the past 2 Tuesdays, families, they're great. Holidays, they're okay. But Kicker live streams or Kicking It with Andy and free giveaway stuff. I mean, come on. We missed it. I missed it. I miss doing this stuff. Fridays are fun too. But either way, thank you for sharing the live there. What the heck? We are live on TikTok, so you can just look at it. Thank you for tuning in. Sean, appreciate you, sir. Dubby said, would you just look at it? Thank you for tuning in, Dubby. I appreciate you. See ya, Frank the Tank. Dad duties do come in front. Appreciate that you tuned in the beginning there, man. Andy rebased his own intro, man. You know what? I know exactly what it is every time. And, yeah, I forgot to hit the switch. I got every other switch right. All the live folks are rusty. Yeah, you know what? I'm different whenever I don't do a stream twice a week. And I know that makes no sense, but I get rusty from it. Green team! Thank you, Jabby, for tuning in. And, yes, LX amplifiers on the Unmasked show tonight. And I'm glad that they talked about literally, you know, just the 5-channel, the 7-channel, the controller. And I know you guys had a lot of questions about it too. And I just learned something that the Ethernet jack here, is that the one? No, that's the high level. The Ethernet jack, the data connector right there, is what you connect the controller and the bass knob to. I wouldn't know since this is just the monoblock version, but still, I know they were talking about like switching it up already and trying to do some things so you can have a switch and use both at once, because I know people are going to want to put that in the front of their car, even though they might never touch it, but it's just the idea of the fact. I get it. And hey, you know, if Kicker doesn't do it, somebody will make something to make. If it will work, they will make it. William, and there's Uncle Bobby B.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Thank you for tuning in, Uncle Bobby B, and he's always the first one to comment on all the live streams of Kicker, and usually here too, man. Appreciate your dedication. What's going on, Bass Chord on TikTok? Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate that you're here. Hope that your year is going well. I'm excited for 2025. You know, to be honest with you, I was like, yeah, Slamology, everything up in the air. We don't know where it's at. You know, that's kind of like where all my eggs are at, that basket right there. And, you know, with just everything else that's kind of unraveling, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for tuning in, man. We need to fast forward to spring so my bike can stop taking a nap. You're telling me, man. I have to fire mine up. It's been over that 2-month period. I do not like clogged carburetors. And yeah, we have carburetors. And let me tell you, when you have a Kawasaki that stops running and it takes you 30 years to get it running, you don't want your next bike to do that again. When's that LX coming out? I know that they were talking about it on the Unmasked show, and they said coming soon. And I've had some winks, okay? I'm going to double down and say coming very soon. That's what I'm going to say. Could it be in a few weeks? Could it be in 2 months? I would say less than 2 months. But either way, it's here. It's here in my hands. You guys know it's coming soon. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. Appreciate you, Bass Chord. Thank you for tuning in, hanging out with us. Andy, loved your TikTok videos on the amp. Man, you know, I can't get over how much just viewership that this amplifier got between even just the dyno. Obviously, it's a dyno, you know what I mean? But just looking at it. Like, I didn't even do a dyno and 2 million people or whatever, million people seen it. 1.6, I don't know. I'm losing track, man. Facebook is starting to take off for me, which is great. 23, almost 24,000 followers on Facebook. And I'm going to keep doing that. Live stream, short streams, you know, whatever. Whatever you call them. Thank you, Garrick. Appreciate you. Front dash control would be amazing. And, you know, with the Q-Class amplifiers, they had that. And, you know, or, well, let me think. No, they had the app control and the DSP functions, but not the controller. The SX amplifiers did. And I had the box sitting around here somewhere. But we do have SX amplifiers on the wall. I got 2 more that, well, all 4 of them I need to dyno. But, you know, an amplifier, it's 15 years old. We'll get to it. People are going to look at it eventually. But the SX amplifier, sorry for the focus over there, that one right there had a controller that would mount into the dash or any kind of, you know, whatever you want to make for it to work. And, yeah, so you know, with what they were saying tonight of how they were already working on things with that kind of thing, like, having the bass knob work with it, even though technically out of the box, you can't use both at the same time. You can't use the bass knob and a controller. But, you know, they were trying things. I mean, that speaks volumes, and especially to say it on the Kicker Unmasked show, which is where 90% of the information is going to come out first about talking with things, unless, you know, you start getting some leaks, wiki leaks and stuff with, or kicker leaks. I don't know. What would you call that? Kicky leak? A kicky leak? Thank you for tuning in, Dolby. That rusty OBS. That's how my slobs is feeling. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you liking the live on TikTok. You guys are awesome. Drain those carbs over the winter. Man, you know, I'm not gaining weight, but I'm not losing weight, so it's a good day. Thank you for tuning in, Jason. Appreciate all your input on the streams, and thanks for being here, man. And I seen your little wink at the end there. I don't know, 10K Warhorse, that would be pretty cool. They said January. Now, I know, on the Unmasked show, I heard them say soon. And January, from my source, yes, that makes sense. I can't 100% verify for that. I do not work for Kicker. I work with Kicker. And but I'm excited to see that coming. Shipping this month. Shipping that month. Sean Lynn, thank you for tuning in, man. Mine's a 2014 Harley, which is fuel injected. Non-ethanol premium is the best for car motors, and a battery tender is a must. I know I got a LFP little tiny battery in there, which probably needs charged. I have the Kicker key, 200.4 on the motorcycle. On some of the motorcycle, what are they, 2 or 3 inch speakers? I forget exactly which. They're just the ones that go on the handlebars for any bike. And but either way, yeah, it probably needs charged and it needs ran. And yeah, with the fuel, I mean, with the Kawasaki F250 or, you know, just the Ninja, I always heard 87 is better for that. Now every other vehicle might be different. I like the Harleys though, man. Oh, and by the way, guys, since Kicker is going to shorten their live streams to an hour, and I know they say this, okay, and it, you know, it was 90 minutes-ish, now it's going to be 60 minutes-ish, and I can't wait till they have a guest on there to see if it actually does only stream for an hour, because that's usually the ones where they kind of go crazy. But they have gotten shorter just so that you guys come here, you come to the table, you eat your food, you go home. You know, we got other things going on. But with that in mind, I will be going live a half an hour after them, which I usually do. I give a little buffer so that I can be prepared, and then also if they run it a little bit extra. So instead of 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central for the after show, I'll be doing 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock Central time. So just half an hour back, just so you guys know. I was going to do it tonight, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to forget something, and I still forgot something. It's okay. It's all right. Let's see. Walt, thank you for tuning in, man. What's up with the L7Q15? Where is the new one, or the L7X18? Where is the info? When are they coming? Ah, man, the L7Q15, they haven't physically said that they're coming out with it, but given that the Comp Q was discontinued, the round one was discontinued, and they just brought that back, and Kicker being square, like that's their thing, man. And how, just popular that QL7 was, they're gonna bring it back. Like, I mean, it would be kind of stupid not to. Not saying that, they should or they shouldn't, but I think as well you would want to see another one coming. Right. So when would that be coming? I don't know. If they haven't said anything about it, probably not within the next 6 months. I will say that. Because they do take some time. Obviously, with the LX amplifier came out at SEMA and all the other products that are coming, and they're still not here, but I would say around a 6-month window once you hear about it. Now, the L7X18. What can I say? I would just say stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. And yes, thank you for tuning in, Walt. Appreciate you. What kicker sub would you recommend? Yes. It depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go to competitions and you're trying to do just dueling demos or just SQ or SPL, every woofer decision choice makes a difference, and with power classes. But if you're just trying to ground pound, I mean, anything will pretty much work, and it depends how much power you want to invest into it, the enclosure space. There's so many variables, but that's the fun part with car audio, is learning how these things work and correlate with each other, and also having some advice, because you don't want to waste money by just throwing things to the wind. So that's why I love having this platform here. The guys that are in the chat, Kicker Unmasked, the Discord, Facebook, Kicker Club, the whole nine, just so to help you guys out. And me, I have been digging my nose into computers, and I know they're different than car audio, but in a lot of similarities, they have a lot of them, a lot of similarities. But I am a noob, okay? And I'm listening to all these people, and it's like, man, that's some good information. And I'm trying to think, how is car audio people doing this as well for like YouTube and all that other stuff? And it's like we are, but it's like, there's always more to be said. And, it just makes me want to strive to do more with the stuff that we do here and tune in Tuesdays and Fridays and talk about stuff. Thank you, Garrick, for being part of the green team for 11 months. Let me throw that up, Garrick. Yeah, look at that. Just look at that. You just got to look at it. Thank you for tuning in, CM Enclosures. Appreciate ya. Man, you guys are awesome that are on TikTok. Appreciate ya. 616 likes. That's probably basic chord, but I appreciate you for that. Gotta love TikTok numbers. Either way, we are streaming everywhere. And thank you for liking the live, Mr. Loud. I like the name. I like it. CAE, what is up? Thank you for hanging out. He was saying to drain your motorcycle carb for the winter. Okay, I thought you were talking about drain. Yeah, wait. Okay, cool. Right, and it's better than putting in that fuel stabilizer crap. What I do is I just I do start my cars, even if they sit, not just for the battery, but just to clean it out, rev it a little bit, let it idle, temperature, run it, to help clean out those things, and motorcycles, same concept. I just don't see people doing that with their lawnmowers and weed whackers, and maybe that's why he doesn't start in the summer. But the motorcycle, sure thing. Okay. Thank you, Sean. It depends if you're trying to look at it or look at it. And you know what? Since you're making me look at it that way, that does make sense. All right, cool. Let's see. What did I miss? Anything else? No other comments. Okay, cool. So I'm actually caught up on the comments. Sweet. What did I want to talk about? Oh, yes, since Jason's in here, and I know that Kicker showed it at the very end, but I already had this ready. I seen the video. I seen you guys talking about this thing, man. And Wayne Harris's build, and the back end of this, I had to show this in the beginning here. Just take a look at this thing. Let me turn the volume up here so you guys can hear what he's saying.
If your history is good in Rockford, you'll know that those amps were at least 6 inches longer. They had what was called a caboose and no LED display. But I couldn't fit those amps in the car. Plus, I love lights. So I fabricated these prototypes. They also have additional capacitance and some other things I did to the circuit board. But these were the original prototypes. They were never intended to go into production. But once I showed my vehicle to some of the marketing people at Rockford, they decided they wanted to make it
a look at the caboose.
a legitimate product.
Here is the system.
For a 50 cubic foot enclosure.
50 cubic
the 3 dB
feet for
down point on this
321s
system
or
is
324s?
18 hertz. And then I have 8.
When he said 3 dBs down at 18 hertz, that is crazy. That is crazy. And a well-balanced enclosure, you know? It's not super peaky. Maybe it's not the highest on SPL, but it's going to be very well-balanced with just how it plays and all that other fun stuff, man. It's truly an amazing build. Go check out the video. DB, I should know this. DBTV. I know he even streams like the World Finals and stuff on that channel and what have you. And of course, Term Lab. Dubby, thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. How's the weather over in Australia? Thank you, Dubby. Appreciate you, man. All right, yeah, I forgot to do that. Let me pull this up here. All right, there we go. Oh, that's cool. Nice. All right, cool. I forgot to do that. Weather in Australia. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's pretty warm over there. I know Electra always be posting, videos and stuff of him working on $1 million mansions with palm trees in the background. It's kind of crazy. Stable works, but you need to be using non-ethanol fuel. And who uses non-ethanol fuel? It is cold in the Midwest. I bet you it's even colder in the Pacific Northwest. When you let fuel sit, I threw some stabilizer. Okay, we're talking about stabilizer 24. Thank you, Jason. 24-inch subwoofers in the back of that car, man. I know it's kind of a number that you think about with jackhammer, but they were doing that in the late 80s, which is just incredible. That's a great build. I also have one of those 24 Fane subwoofers in my 95 Blazer. Are you kidding me, Will? That is awesome. You might have mentioned that before, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That is crazy. And for them to make something like that back then is unheard of. You know, I don't even know if there was people really making 18s at that time. You know, even 15s were like massive. They were huge. And we're talking, 1,000 watt amplifiers on each one of those. But at the same time, the subwoofers did not require 1,000 watts. So you could put 3, 4, 5, 6, subwoofers on one amplifier. And he had 3 or something like that? I don't even know on each one, or 2 on each one. It's just kind of crazy. I don't even know if they had dual voice coils back then. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Yeah, it is pretty cold out here tonight, man. I actually have this here. Let me pull this up here. There we go. It is snowing everywhere up in the Yinsburg area. We got a lot of snow. I would say at least maybe 3 inches, 4 inches. Nothing too crazy, but I know you guys are getting a lot of, weather, because you guys are all over the place too. All right, can we get out of this? There we go. Can I exit that? There we go. Cool, cool, cool. It's still in full screen. That's why I didn't want to do that, but I had it up there. I always have that up there. You got to have it up there. 16 inches in northern Illinois. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. I know we have a job up in Erie, and I'm scared about doing it. We might be doing it tomorrow, but if they got hit super bad, which anytime you're by the lake effect, it's going to get hit pretty good. Pro Audio subwoofer, yes. Jason Moore, thank you for tuning in. What are your thoughts on running a Warhorse? I seen you already. On 2 of the X15s versus waiting on the new LX amps and doing 1 per. No competition, just a street beater. honestly, I would look at it like this. The Warhorse is a 4,500 watt amplifier, almost a 5K if you want to talk uncertified and all that kind of fun stuff there. So it's got a lot of headroom over its rating. The LX amplifier also has headroom over its rating, but not as much, where, like the 3K is doing like 3,500 watts, certified. So, to have each one of those on each 15 would be plenty. And then if you have the Warhorse that's 4,500 watts, we'll say, and then dividing the two just in the perfect scenario, we're just going to say it's getting all the watts, you're splitting that in half. So like 2250, and it's just kind of like you're going to get more power doing the LX 3000 per. You're talking a lot more money. I honestly would just go with the Warhorse 3600.1 for two of them for your everyday kind of just street beating system, because at the end of the day, woofers don't really need all that power, man. If you're trying to compete, you have a box that's in a way and you're just trying to get every ounce out of that tank of what that system can do, then sure, yeah, give it all the beans. It'll keep clamping more power than its RMS and be getting louder, but how long can it handle it? There's always that how much power is too much power factor. So there is that. I would just go with the Warhorse, to be honest with you. Wired at 1 ohm, grab the dual ones of the 15s, and you'd be set. Anything more, I mean, hey, why not? But, if it was my build and I'm on a budget, $1,000 versus two, it doesn't make sense, unless, I don't know, maybe two Warhorses. But the LX amplifier does different things, where it has built-in features with like even just the simplest thing with the bass boost and the adjustable Q factor of that and frequency. And I liked how they talked about the crossovers with the 5-channel, 7-channel, everything like that, and the different types of slopes. And I like how Kicker has them named, and there are different things and stuff like that. But like, I just look at like -6, -12, -18, -24, -40, like just a brick wall. And sometimes I've done that in the past, especially with my Solo X, whenever I had it on a Warhorse at 0.5 ohm. Yeah, that thing was a brick wall. Once it hit 40 hertz, it just didn't do anything. Because it was wasted information up there, just creating a ton of wasted heat because it just wasn't getting any louder for how that box was designed, and it just didn't make sense. It wasn't moving as much, so it wasn't cooling as fast. So I like how they were talking about that, and both of them use -24 dB slopes, and come to think about it, it's like, yeah, sometimes I do that, and it just maybe makes it sound cleaner. And I feel like there's maybe by doing it with that slope, you get less error of maybe not cone filtering, but something of blending of the frequencies and things starting to sound mushy, if that makes sense. Thank you, Jason, for tuning in. I needed a question like that. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, Rudy. Remember, Andy, I think the Terminator build was before I was born. I was born in 1986. I heard him say 88 something. I'm not 100% sure, but that build is very old, and that's going to be Cookie Monster in 30 years. Wow, look at that. It's still got the terrible paint job, but the shag looks amazing. It's still in prime condition. We did not get any snow here at all. That's crazy. I mean, I was waiting for it. It's just, I wish we would get snow for Christmas, but it just doesn't seem to happen anymore. Bought it in 1990. Cost me $2,000 in 1990. That's like $8,000 today. That is crazy. And that whole thing of how cheap car audio is, I was looking at some prices of new stuff coming. I'm like, man, that's cheaper than the other one, the older one, and better. Things just got cheaper over time. And even if you would make a driver like that today, I don't see, maybe you could put a $2,000 price point on it just because it's a 101 and it's very special. But, in parts, time, we'll say maybe like $500, $600. And compared to that, just because technology is so advanced nowadays. Thank you, William. Appreciate ya. Will. We're getting snow. CAE, my friend and brother, I'm ready for summertime, man. I'm ready too, but that means season time. Build's got to be done time. The crunch. The crunch. Whoa, $2,000. That's what I'm saying, but I mean, I thought he said do a bump. Will it romp? Will it romp, though? Thank you for tuning in, Fago. I'm 10 minutes south of Wisconsin border, and we get 0 snow. That's crazy, and you guys are right up by that lake effect. Joe Oregon, thank you for hanging out with us. Denver, be chill. Normal winter for us here. Noobs be crashing, though. I know, it's funny watching people driving the snow or shaking the snow off with your base mobile. I mean, I didn't do it this year yet, but I've done it so many times. It is the best feeling in the world. But still, man, thanks for tuning in, Joe. Appreciate you. Andy, I sent picture of it during the install to your phone. I don't know if I have that connected, but I could take a look at it. All right, give me a second here, Will. We're going to pull up the photo of that 24-inch, what was it, Fane woofer? All right, I got to switch Wi-Fi's here because that's how this works. Oh, come on. And there we go. iShare. Well, we can look at the LX while we're doing this. Just take a look at it. All right, so that's on there. And we're screen sharing now. Oh, wow. Yes, Fane. Let me save this so we can make this nice and big here. The Fane 24-inch woofer. Will, I thought I responded back to you, man. I'm glad you got the Christmas card, man. All right, let's see here. There it is. There is one of those 24-inch woofers. And William Berg, Will, he still got one. Just look at that thing. Just look at it. Wow. And it's crazy. You can tell they made them things by hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. And that thing is still in a car. Those RCAs look expensive. They look real expensive. They look real expensive. And, you know, I'm the kind of guy where it's not going to faze me too much with the quality of RCAs. But whenever you come to a build, maybe with something like that, where even if it's a 24-inch woofer, it's still got a lot of SQ in mind when you're building that, you know, and it's just garbage in, garbage out. And the cleaner you can make that from the beginning, you're just amplifying whatever signal you're getting. So RCAs do mean something. But, you know, I would say this, you know, if you buy them and they're like $5 and they're like 25 feet long, they're probably not even twisted, you know, and it's just, there's still companies out there that do that. And honestly, Kickers, you know, RCAs, I know their wire is not the cheapest by far. It's kind of expensive, but it's really good. But the RCAs are not that expensive and they're really good. And it's because 90% of the people, it's like you want them to have something good. Wire, you can go elsewhere, buy it a dime a dozen, go to your distributor, buy 50 feet of it, you know, and it takes up their whole warehouse, you know. Kicker, they don't want to be just stocked on power wire. They want to be stocked on kickers and amplifiers. That's what they do. They just make it available. On the RCAs, I mean, it's a little bit smaller, and it's very important. It's fundamental, foundational stuff. And that is awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that, Will. Appreciate ya. That was awesome. I wouldn't leave the house if it snowed here. Thank you for the input. Hey, anytime, Jason. Thank you for tuning in with us on Facebook. Appreciate all you guys. I forgot to actually pull up. I do share this other places, but it should all funnel in here between Kicker Club and yeah, it should all funnel in. Appreciate you, Rudy. The Hearst 912. Will Kicker make a Solo X 18 sub Andy? Yes. Big yes. And I am excited for it. I can't tell you guys when it's coming, but it's coming. Not as soon as the LX amplifier will be here, but it is coming. And I'm excited for that. Sorry, I just had to pan to that. I got that camera set up, feeling fancy. You gotta have fun doing this stuff. It's coming. They talked about it on Unmasked, and I'm retiring the one that's in Cookie Monster, and I'm throwing in the L7X18. And I am so excited because the difference. Like, I have the 12, I have the 15, but I never put it in a car yet. I know, shoot me, right? But the 12 just ate the power compared to the 18. And it didn't need the power. You know, it still did a 42.5 on 500 watts in Kayla's car at 33 hertz. That's pretty good, you know, and then like 46 and then 47.5 at 2K and 48.5 at 3K. So diminishing returns, it wasn't doubling, you know, output in a way, which doubling output, I don't know, and is it 10 dB, 3 dB? Really, it's 3 dB every time you times the power by a factor of 2 or double. And still efficient driver under 1,000 watts. Like, it's just, it's awesome. But the Solo X18 of handling that 2K clamped was not as good. Like, I am constant, like, William had to build me a temperature sensor because I tried to make a makeshift one and it worked, but it was so delayed. And even though that I have that, I'm very careful, you know, and the temperatures are nowhere near what people are using their temperature sensors on their L7X or anything like that, which I've never even done that. I do need to do that. And somebody just got the kicker kicking over there. I see it over there. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you. But it's going to be night and day, which is power handling and pure output, man. Thank you, Mr. SDK, for throwing the pennies. Somebody got a kicking.
I got pennies.
Maybe you guys forgot. I panned it over. You couldn't even see the kicker to get a kick in. They're like, I forgot it's even there. Thank you so much, SDK Enclosures. Morning, fam. Hit the like if you love this content. Appreciate you, Jake. And thank you for just contributing and tuning in and being one of the guys and keeping the Discord above, what's that? The signal noise ratio just a little bit lower. You know, it's a little bit noisier, but it's nice. You know, it's like that warm sound. So I appreciate you, man. And thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate the pennies. We got Basshead Go Boom. What is good, y'all? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And we're going to keep this one short, too. If you guys got any other questions, I mean, Kicker shorten it. I'll shorten it on Tuesday here, too. But kicking it with Andy, I ain't shortening it. I got just enough time to get everything done. It's a lot harder by yourself. It's definitely tricky to set up 2 amps that are gain matched. Plus, it takes more space. I try to run a single amp if I could, right? And the cool thing about the Warhorse amp, you can gain match those by just putting them into competition mode. It locks open the crossover and sets the gain at 4 volt pre-out. And that may not be perfect for you if you don't even have 4 volt pre-out. You're going to have to turn it up somewhere else or have a pre-line driver to get a higher pre-out voltage to do that. But either way, right, you can do it, and I've seen Bear Vids do a lot of videos about how to do it properly by using one woofer, and I think that's kind of genius, where you take one amplifier, put it on one coil, the other amplifier, put on the other coil, and put them out of phase until they stop moving. And once they stop moving, or if they start moving one way, you know you're off, and that's how you fix that. Oh, look at Mike. Mike's making it rain over here. Oh, we got to put the rain.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
It is definitely raining. Oh,
Eddie.
man. Peace. You know, I thought it was so funny. I see you, Drew, on Facebook. Love you, man. I thought it was so funny whenever Aaron was talking about how, I think it was Joe Hobart was mentioning that you only get so many, you know, turn-offs of the amplifier into Protect. And let me tell you, there's a lot of them, okay? I just wanted to know the exact number. Well, you know, I was being a jerk. But they will eventually give. Man, this is going nuts. You guys got this thing kicking. I just heard someone say, look at it. He's infiltrating the stream. Ed Bassmaster, man, he's been doing some stuff. But the LX amplifier, or the LX amplifier. Oh my goodness, the L7X. You know, whenever that blew with Mike in the car when we were driving to work, I got to keep that up there. I'm not done yet with Mike. I'm not done yet. There we go. And it wasn't even the coil. I mean, we did get a little stanky, but that L7X, goodness gracious, it can take some power. The only time I ever cooked it pretty good was whenever I was giving EXO a demo, but then I just I had to cross over wide open because I wanted to give him like the full, up to 60 hertz. Like, because it will get it, but I'm playing way too loud and just a lot of power. Either way, yes, it smells. It has a different smell. I'll tell you that. The old Solo X has an entirely different smell when it blows or whenever you're cooking it a little bit too hard compared to the L7X. The L7X gives you like this pre-smell, if that makes sense. It's like a smelly smell that smells kind of smelly. But then if you hit that second level, it is a different smell, man. And it just starts stinking. It's like, whoo, that smells like electrical back there. That is not good. That is not good. Thank you so much, Mike. And then Jake again with more pennies.
I got pennies.
That demo right there, but it was totally worth it. That demo right there was worth it. And it still kept kicking, and I didn't even bring a spare with me. I wasn't even nervous. LX glue smells like an HCCA coil. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, man. The HCCA coil. I mean, aluminum, probably. I know the L7X is aluminum. I know they have some similarities. I don't think the coil's similar at all, but still, I don't know. With the type of high heat resin, I mean, that's what you're smelling is from the clipping. Yes, it's some with the wire, it's some with the former and kicker. I know the L7X got a different former. Obviously, it's a different driver, but compared to the Solo X or the L7, like their former, when you take those things apart, they got a distinct freaking smell, man. And it's like layered, laminated with something around that former on the inside of the coil of that former part inside there, like layered. And that's the smell that you would smell with the L7 or the Solo X, the original, the ones that are behind me here. And the L7X definitely has a different smell. I don't know. Jake's he's just writing down. He's like, okay, pro, con, yes, no. He's just looking at it. He's looking at it. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. And thank you for the pennies, man. CAE, gifting the memberships. I mean, we got to throw the gift of memberships.
Bass hitting hard. Yeah. Turn down for what? Okay. Yeah.
Appreciate you, CAE, for gifting the YouTube Green Team LLC membership. Appreciate you for that. Up to 215. But honestly, like consistently, like 100 plus of you guys. Love you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you supporting, gifting the memberships. You guys are awesome. Drew Landers, what is up? Thank you for tuning in, man. Choke changes here. Sorry, joined late. I thought the Terminator build was going to be MTX. I missed it. I didn't even watch the entire thing. I watched literally up to there, and then I had to go to bed. It was like 5:30 in the morning, and then Tuesday. I haven't finished that video. Did they announce Slam new location? But it's an awesome build. Just looking at the inside, man, just what it is, amazing. Did they announce Slam new location? Not yet, Choke. And I know you're flying from another darn country, man. They need to hurry up on it. Come on, Donnie. Come on, Donnie. Scott, oi, oi. Oh, man. I guess balls isn't a swear word. I was like, why did they not bleep that out? But I mean, footballs, you can't really censor that out. Thank you, Double E. He is sweating over there, he's saying. So yes, it is hot. The Kraken 21 is an affordable choice, though if you're wanting a huge cone, they have a lot of X-Max as well. Kraken 21. I mean, once you start talking anything over an 18, you're talking about a just subwoofer specific type of person. You know, you ain't putting a 21 in the back of a trunk. You're just not. So anything that big, yeah, I hope it's got some cone travel. I know, what was it, Comic Audio or something? They had like a 34 and it barely did anything, but it looked apart. It looked apart. You got to have it do both. Let's see it. I think the recent MTX 22-inch square subs were over $1,000 each. I think, well, they actually are still on sale. The 22-inch jackhammer, the square, for $10,000, Will. I mean, we can just put it all together and buy one. And we just thought you liked subwoofers, so we're going to give you the biggest one. Pimp my ride. The cone is 3/4 foam. Wow. Wow, and that's a super light just speaker, man. Super light. All right, trying to catch up on the comments, but you guys brought up good questions, and that's the point of this. Those look like Radio Shack RCAs. I had some of those. I don't know. They had gold-plated, and they were like extra long. They looked fancy. Fago says, I need that Solo X enclosure. And yes, the L7X single and dual-loaded enclosures are awesome, man. I can't wait for people to just get them in their hands. I need one too. I need one so I can show it off. Rockford Fosgate seems like they gave up on their amplifiers. You know, I don't want to speak for another company, but it's like, you don't look just at the Facebook posts. If you do look, you will find things, but right, did they change anything recently? I don't know. You know, and I feel like Rockford Fosgate just isn't into car audio like they once were. They will say that themselves, but they still do something in the audio community. They do. At least it seems like that. Man, I am behind. Thank you for donating them L7, the LX amps. Man, this is going to be tough. Steve, why'd you have to name it LX and then L7X? You had to put the 7 in the middle. I mean, we are just big L7 weenies, but, you know, man, it's tongue-twisting me every time. Them LX amps seem super nice. Once the L7X 18 comes out, it will be in the bin with Scar. Wait, once the 18 comes out, it will be in the bin with the Scar. Okay, I got triggered there for a second. Not gonna lie. No, thank you, CM. And, you know, I have an SDR Scar up in the attic, and I still have not put it in the box. I've powered it, and that was enough. But, I mean, for $129, I couldn't pass it up just to look at it. Oh, look at that. We got somebody new, the Green Reaper, with a $5 super chat. He wants us to look at it.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You know, that guy, you will not get sick of him watching the show. I swear it to you. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But thank you so much for donating. Appreciate you for your $5 super chat. And thank you for tuning in. Green Reaper, would you look at the Made by Kicker? No, but I always wanted one because it was a little bit more easier to get than a Warhorse 10K, and 4 of them, you know, kind of equivalated the same amount of power, but 2,500 watts at 2 ohms each amplifier. And, I mean, in a sense, yeah, Warhorse, you're just getting 5,000 per 2 ohm coil. Totally different, but still, nonetheless, power ratings, right? And, yeah, they are awesome. They're huge, and people want way too much money for them. Unless you're a collector, it's in amazing condition. I would just grab if you want a KXA 2400 if they're still floating around. And now the LX 3000.1 that will be coming out very soon. Did anyone have? Okay, I read that one. Pennies. We're looking at it. It's raining pennies, and it has rain pennies in his studio for years, and because of you guys, thank you so much, man. I know I'm beefing up the computer. Actually, I picked up a USB expansion card so I can have more USBs, so I'm not taxing my motherboard per se and using its own PCLE or something, whatever it's called, slot, and also adding 2 more 32 gigabytes of RAM, since I'm looking at I'm only at 24 out of 64, but it's spikes that I'm kind of worried about. Sometimes my my feed over there that's playing a TikTok video, that's playing a Facebook video, that's playing a YouTube video, that's playing all this stuff to track everything. That's a lot of information. And I play one of these videos and it's Friday, you know, and it just stops playing that video. It's all about the clipping. I don't want to clip. I'm not on the very most playing Starfield, 90% streaming, but I just want to be extra safe. And that's it. Why not? Try it. So yes, thank you for you guys that have supported and continue to support either through the Green Team, Patreon, or Super Chats. I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching. We got 50 of you guys in here. Where'd you all come from? We had like 30, 40, and now we got 50. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Who else here thinks voice coil smells like... Oh, Rhino. Okay. Learned the hard way while we were going to the zoo, and I can wonder why it smells like burnt voice coil, though. It's got to be something with, like, the chemicals that they put into it. I don't know, man. Coil smell. Whenever... It's not the smell and the smoke that'll get... I mean, it will be the smoke that gets you, but I had James. He was demoing... I don't know what kind of woofer it was. Something with way too much high temp resin where the coil wasn't blowing, but the resin was just so caked on and just burning and catching on fire and still playing that it was like literally being in a chemical fire. It was scary. And my eyes were burning like it was bad. And he just kept going. He just kept going. Hey, Andy, maybe you can get him rebuild the Terminator with Kicker. I mean, that would be cool. That would be cool, you know, and I feel like that build, though, if he does change anything, I don't know who he's all aligned with. I know he's friends with Kicker, but, I mean, who isn't? Who isn't? You got to be friends with them. Thank you for tuning in, Basehead30. Appreciate you so much. And all right, so TikTok, everybody's gone on TikTok. That's okay. Blake, speaking of which, hey y'all, how's it going? Just got here, and we got to throw up Blake here. Getting a demo in Cookie Monster. 2.3 million people have seen Blake getting a demo. Man, that song is so catchy. I hope I don't get copyright now. There we go. Thank you for tuning in, Blake. Appreciate you. Hey, yo, how's it going? Just got here. Hope you've been well, man. And I know you got that hair going just for that video to get in. Cookie Monster, appreciate you. Can't wait to see it slam next year, sir. Basehead30, Wade, thank you for tuning in. Oh, yes. Thank you for all your support, man, and helping out with Kicker Club. And 100K, here we come, man. Here we come. You just got to look at it. Oh, we got him going. One of us. One of us. Love it. Diesel Man, thank you for tuning in from North Dakota. Not the Pacific Northwest, but North Dakota. And Wade throwing the pennies.
I got pennies.
You know what? I was looking on the merch site that I have, and we could do some fancy things, but they didn't have any smell that could maybe smell like burnt coil. But a candle? Or maybe a cologne. And then you spray that on, and then your wife's like, oh, well, I could tell what you were doing. Yep, kicking my kickers to clipping death. That'd be awesome. Thank you, Wade. Appreciate you. And thank you for the pennies, man. Thank you for tuning in, sir. Would you look at that? So in short, why should I own a new Kicker amp? I was at work, so I missed it. Why should I own a new Kicker amp? Well, with my YouTube career, and there's a lot of comments on YouTube, I would say more so where people are less forgiving of whatever content they see, aka more trolling effect. So you get people who are like, well, they're never going to find out who I am. Let me just post how I feel. And you get a lot of comments left and right, but the one thing that I see a lot for some reason, and I don't know what it is, they're like, Kicker subs suck, I blew mine, but the amps are amazing. And if that isn't a takeaway, I don't know what is. You know, they make amazing amplifiers that are just bulletproof, dummy-proof, efficient, and do power. And maybe not the cheapest thing, but that's what you're paying for, is those other things that I just mentioned. And subwoofers, I mean, any subwoofer is going to fail if you overdrive it. You can't overdrive an amplifier. It's only going to do so much power, and then it's just going to be clipping. And then how well it's built for that, how many resets you get, like they were talking about tonight, is how long it's going to last. It's a little bit more forgiving on that end. No, we're not talking about electrical and all that other stuff, but even then, subwoofers are a little bit more delicate. So that's why they just get that rap. And I love doing what I do, man, and they make amazing stuff. It makes it easy. Thank you, Wade, and thank you, Scott, for that question, sir. Dean said their store has 3 Kicker amps still in the box, I think from 2023. The KX amps? I have one of those air fresheners, smelt burn electronics and coils. That's awesome. I need one of those. All right. Everyone's leaving, but it's okay. It's probably because there's ads. Yeah, we have ads now. And that's why I'm worried about this one, because I just played that. I kind of forgot. Hey, I mean, streaming all the time. Why not? Let's see. That would be the case. Was gonna ask why he didn't go with the Pioneer amps. Okay, everything's scrolling up here. But that is newer than Terminator build. And he knows that sometimes you just got to step back and look at it. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Just look at it. Sometimes that's all you got to do, William. Delo, Contos, thank you for tuning in again, man. Can I use the new LX 3000.1 with 2 L712s wired to 2 ohms? Now, L7, 750 watts RMS for the 12s. The L7S, the Rs are 600. So you're talking 1500 RMS. And the LX does 2000 at 2 ohms. So you're at that perfect 125 plus-ish % of what the subwoofers can handle of the amplifier's rating at your final impedance that you're going to be wiring at, which is 2 ohms. And yes, so I think it would be honestly perfect. You know, maybe 3000 would be too much to get the dual force and being wired to one. So, right. No, I think that's perfect. That is a perfect idea. Thank you for tuning in again on TikTok, sir. Appreciate ya. Okay. Andy, when they do decide to have Slamology again, we got to give each other demos. Absolutely, man. I know I'm always probably going to be at least parked beside the kicker tent. Parked beside the kicker tent or under the tent, whichever have you, so you guys can see Cookie Monster. And if you can get in and pull up there, that would be awesome. I do try to make my rounds at some point, but then I'm always giving up people that want to get a demo of Cookie Monster and they just get to look at it. And a lot of people are going to want to hear it with the L7X18 in there. Just saying. I'm going to want to hear it. I'm not going to want to get out of that thing. Like all day, baby. All day. Never blew a kicker sub, but I have set a kicker amp on fire, young and uneducated, and it goes both ways, man. It really does. But you know, in my opinion, I think subwoofers are a lot more delicate with their electronical parts because the subwoofers don't go into protect. You know, the amplifier goes into protect so that it doesn't just keep going and go into some kind of like thermal overload or voltage under, you know, like blowing up the rails, blowing up the FETs, blowing up the PCB, whatever stuff inside an amplifier, and a subwoofer just keeps going. I mean, that would be cool, man. You know, having a subwoofer that had a protect light. Now, that might be bad if you have more than one, because then it'd be the same thing as blowing it, and then the other speakers start to unload, and you got 20 of them, that could be a problem. But, you know, for that guy that just got a single sub and you just don't want to cook it, yeah, it just cuts the power. I mean, you could put something in there. Will would know how to do it, where it would be a temperature, like power modulation relay, where once it would just get a certain temperature, it would just say, yep, we're shutting that amp off, and the subwoofer, well, it shuts off the amplifier, doesn't shut off the woofer. I think that would be something cool to make, so it would be good for big dummies, just in case, you know, make it dummy proof. Mike and Jake can't wait until Discord Friday, and that's it, man. The Discord after party. Well, it's after party. We used to do after parties too much on Tuesdays, and I'm glad I get to hang out with Kayla and the kids after this. Steve Barber's show is coming up too. I forgot. He's switching it around. It used to be in November, right? So he's having it coming up here, and it's still going to be over close to the Pacific Northwest, Pacific West. All right, cool. We're at the hour mark. I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you tune in. Oh, hold on. I just got it kept working. Make sure you guys tune in this Friday. We'll be going live again. And I'm going to try to do some more content during the week. I don't have much work to do on the sheet side of things, so I can be in the studio, record more things, test more stuff. Hopefully have something out by the weekend, and also shoot some shorts for next Tuesday that I have no idea what topic I'm doing. But I will figure out something, as I always do. And I appreciate you guys for always watching throughout the stream. All 34 of you guys that have been here since the beginning. And we had like 50 plus. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to do a long outro just like Aaron kept going on and Jacob kept going on. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. And as always, stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one. That is Aaron kicking it with Andy.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
He says input, and I say input. You know?
You got it.
That's about it. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate your input on that. Yeah. Tuesday, man. Oh, the kicker's kicking. The kicker is kicking. Hopefully we get there, Wade, and I think by summer at the rate that we're at, man, 100,000 members this year on Kicker Club, we're going to get there. Thank you, Basehead Go Boom. Coming in a little early, too soon, Junior, but I appreciate the pennies, and thank you for your support, and we got to throw the pennies. We got to throw it. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah, there he is. Would you look at that? There is Cornut. Appreciate you, Cornut. And thank you guys for watching.
Cornut.
Thank you for watching, Cornut. I will see you guys on the... No, he said I got more nitrous in the tank. No. Love you.